Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about what is CBD. Well, the CBD is short for Central Business District. It was first introduced by Burgess in the concentric zone model. He argues that the center of the city is the place that accumulates business. The place has the highest accessibilities. And that means the CBD is the place that have convenient transportation facilities and great location. People will gather there for the accumulation of different functions. The CBD have an intensive activity, so the building's density and plot ratio, or say floor area ratio of CBD is high. For high plot ratio, or say high floor area ratio, we can simply define the high plot ratio or high floor area ratio as high building density and height. Well, we will introduce plot ratio deeply in our later videos. And what kind of functions will occupy the CBD? According to the bit rent curve that I mentioned in the video of the concentric zone model, the activities with the highest rentability will gather there. In the early days, these activity mainly consisted of retails, wholesale and services. They all have a high profit. And now, information industry, banking services, trading, exhibition, management, traveling, and many functions also have high ability to pay for the rent. So, the CBD is occupied by these functions. The competing for space, or say the competing for the CBD area, will make the less profitable activity to the sub-priority area of the CBD and the city. More profitable activity comes to a more priority area. The land price is going high for the competing. With the city growth, more activity that have a high competing ability will come into the CBD. The outer layer of the CBD will be invaded by these functions. This area is what we called the transition area. This transition area we already mentioned in the video of the concentric zone model. Well, how to affirm an area a CBD, or say how can you judge an area a CBD? Well, in 1954, Murphy and Vance pronounced that the area that has the highest human density at daytime and most working people, the highest land value, the largest flow of people is the CBD. And the research of the land use of they researched the land value of 9 CBDs in America and post the index of the CBD. That's the Central Business Height Index and Central Business Intensity Index, short for CBHI and CBII. Well, CBHI is the total floor area in CBD to the land area of the CBD. And CBII is the total business floor area in CBD to the total floor area in CBD. Well, this kind of seems kind of complex, but it is easy to understand. CBHI can reflect the average height of the CBD area. We can have a clear vision of the intensity of activities. It is similar to the concept of the floor area ratio. We will talk about that later. And the CBII can show us the gross business intensity of the CBD area. It reflects the ratio or load of business functions. Well, actually, in the CBD area, the business function is not the only function. There are also residential area. There are also residential and other functions. For example, in a building, in a high building, like this, the lower floor are mainly business functions, doing business activities, and the higher floors are mainly for residents or offices. The middle floor of this building is for offices. The higher is for the residential functions. The lower floor of this two building is for the commercial, or say business functions. And there is a similar phenomenon in the high building from the lower to higher floors of a building. The functions are retail, offices, and residential. So the ratio of business function, or say CBII, is very important. It reflects the intensity of CBD. Well, intensity is a very interesting word or concept in urban planning. We will cover this in our later videos. And what about the inside structure of the CBD? Well, the inside structure is also following the rules of the rent competing. There are different activities, or say functions, inside the CBD. We have different character. They have different characters and rentability. So under the condition of homogeneous, the land use inside the CBD is similar to the concentric zone model. In 1959, D.H. Scott researches the CBDs in Australia. He argues that the structure can be divided into three functional circles. Well, actually, the research of Scott is more complex. I just present you a structure of the three major function circles. The inner retail circle that characterized by the accumulation of department store and boutiques. The middle circle is the outlayer of retails characterized by services, less specialized retails. The third circle is offices. Well, the outer layer is transition area. And in 1972, Davis devised this complex concentric model in the CBD. Well, actually, this is more complex than D.H. Scott researches. This more complex than three functional circles. And in 1972, Davis devised a structure model of the retail inside the CBD. He argues that distance is not the only factor that affect the structure of the CBD. The model is more complex, but similar to the model I present to you. He put some new factors into the model, and this is the model he concludes. If you are interested in this model, you can read urban geography or economic geography to learn more. And in reality, the conditions are complex. So this is the picture I found on the internet. There are road networks. So I think I use this to introduce the CBD in reality. The conditions are more complex. The infrastructure, transportation, environment, and many other conditions are vary among different areas in the city and the CBD. Heterogeneous is the nature of cities, and distinctions will make these different activities or functions distribute in different places inside the CBD. But the principle of space competing based on rentability is applicable in real world. Of course, the culture and nurture is also the main factor that affect the structure of CBD. And now let's talk about the evolution of the CBD. I will introduce you some structure model of CBD just now, but it is a static model. In reality, the CBD is in motion. Activities comes in and out of CBD, and the technical evolution also have a huge impact on the CBD. In the early days of business functions, including manufacture, are all gathered in the CBD or downtown. Well, I colored this block to the blue one is business. The green is for residential area, just like the game, Sim City. Early days of the business function, including manufacture, are all gathered in the CBD or downtown. And then manufacture is separate from the CBD. Wholesale, retail, offices, business functions are forming the traditional CBD. In many cities, this forms of CBD can be easily seen. For larger cities, or with the city's expansion or the growth of the city, business activities need more space to settle. The business activities expands to other districts that have a great location, forming business districts. D.H. Scott found that CBDs in America and Australia usually sprawls along traffic lines. Retails are always trending to the central area. Offices want to locate at one direction of the center, and access to higher income residential area. Office building height and density are trending higher. Different functions in the CBD are searching for a better location for itself. The function of this form of CBD is managing business, controlling, financing, specialized services, and information center. The business center is divided from the CBD, while the original CBD is mainly consisted of retails. And then since 1970s, with the development of information society, the functions of CBD are more specializing and intensive. First, the higher class activities will come in, especially the headquarters, financing and banking services. Former firms belonging to the headquarters will move to the suburbs, such as clearing bills, credit cards, processing business, and the senior functions will stay in the CBD, but functionally separated from the original CBD, and forms a specialized business district, locational separated from the original urban center. Yeah, that's the separation. And formed a specialized CBD characterized by its office. Usually, they becomes the regional or global business center. And finally, if the financial scale is large enough, the form of CBD is a network, or this kind of form. We can only see this world cities. We can only see this in world cities. In New York, Tokyo, Paris, London, the form of the CBD is all multiple centers. Well, that's for today's video, and if you have any questions or anything you want to know about urban planning, leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe.